How can you tell when somebody is lying? Hi, I'm Maya the Science Kid. Welcome back to Maya the Science Kid podcast. We're going to try and do more episodes now, but you'll see that my last episode was quite a while ago, and with everything that's been going on, we haven't been able to do many episodes. But now that we've gotten back on track, we'll try and do more episodes around every week or two. And I like to talk about different things that might interest you, kids of all ages, or their parents, which might be amusing to the parents. But we've done episodes like why you get hot and cold, why you need glasses or vaccines, why trucks have a lot of wheels, different things that are in everyday life that you might also wonder about. And in each episode, I ask my dad one question, and my dad answers it as best he can, and we talk about it during the entire car ride.
Good. Okay. So,
Today's episode,
what is the topic for today, Maya?
I have a very good question for today.
Okay, go ahead.
How can you tell when somebody is lying?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How can you tell? Can you tell? You think you can tell?
Well, some people are not very good liars.
Uh-huh.
So, if they lie, they'll, start laughing afterwards or something.
Yeah.
And then other people, it doesn't even make sense. If somebody was 5 and they said, and they didn't want to do their math homework because they, something out of this world.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make sense for that specific person. Then, that you can probably tell if they're lying, or
From what? From what they say, or from how
what
they say it?
say. And then, say if somebody's really shy,
Yeah.
and they're really, really shy,
Okay.
and then you're like, oh, do you want to come home? Do you want to hang out with me today? And then they say, oh, no, sorry, I have a debate tournament, and it's at
That sounds like
4
a lie. Yeah.
o'clock.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds like if someone is not sure, you're saying.
Yeah,
It sounds
if
okay.
if they're saying really unsure and say a lot of likes and ums or uhs or space fillers.
Okay. Well, I think it could be something like we can make it. We can make it maybe break it up into the way you say something and then the thing that you say.
Yeah.
Okay.
And mostly the way you say something,
Yeah.
because sometimes the thing you say is really hard to detect.
Yeah. Let's say the classic kids lying
I'm sick.
thing
I
is
can't go.
no. The classic one is there's a kid with the chocolate all over their lips and all over the mouth, and you say, "Did you eat the cookie?" And they're like, "No, I didn't eat the cookie." And you can see
That they obviously ate
obviously
the cookie.
they ate the cookie, right?
Then
Yeah.
they ate the cookie.
Yeah. So you can tell. So if you can, there's like a physical thing that you can tell, right? You can okay, well, there's physical evidence that somebody's lying, or you can, or from what they say, like, how tall are you? I'm 8 feet tall. Obviously, they're lying, right?
Yeah.
So that is from the
something out
content
of
of what they
this
say. Yeah,
world,
something's. Yeah.
Oh, where was your vacation that you didn't do your homework?
Uh,
I went to
yeah.
Mars.
yeah, or like my dog ate my homework.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or my hamster ate my homework.
Yeah. So, I think you can tell from how people say. I think a lot of parents can tell when the kids are lying because they just know the behavior
They
of
know
that
the
kid,
kids so
right?
well.
They know the behavior of the kid, so they can tell very small different changes in voice or changes in the face or whatever. They're like, okay, yeah, that person, yeah, she's
Oh, I
lying.
have a good one.
Yeah.
If there's a 5-year-old and then they stole their mom's makeup, and then they think, oh, nobody's gonna be able to tell,
Hmm.
but their
Yeah.
parents are obviously gonna tell because the parents know their kids so well.
Yeah. So typically people get lying is a skill that people get
What?
better at. Yeah. People get better at lying. Obviously, kids are like when you're like
When you're
8 years
sick?
old, when you're like 10 years old, you want to eat a cookie. You make sure that you don't have chocolate all over your mouth, right?
But when you're like
When
three,
you're three,
you
you don't
don't
really
think
know,
about
right?
that.
Like when you play hide and seek with someone, like the 3-year-old goes and like hides in an obvious place, can't tell if they're being seen or not,
Yeah.
right? So you get better at uh, being able
Oh, I
to
didn't think
see.
about how hide and seek is kind of like lying,
Yeah,
like
you
trying
get
to
better at
hide the
being
truth.
able to put yourself in other people's shoes and then see how they see you, and then you correct. See if if you want them to see a different version of you, or you want them to see a non-lying version of you. Well, you don't do the things that are obvious giveaways. Um, but there's a whole science behind detecting lies, or maybe pseudoscience. I don't know. Maybe it's a pseudoscience because there's a
No,
whole bunch
there's
of
a science because there's a study of
yeah,
behavior. And if you can study somebody's behavior enough,
yeah.
then
But there's
you
like
know,
this
like,
whole lie
well,
detector
not a lot.
test
Yeah,
that you can do.
by like heartbeat and blood pressure.
Yeah. So basically, what they do is they measure the changes in your heartbeat because they say that if you're lying, you are nervous about getting caught, and that slight being nervous about getting caught would be visible in the heartbeat monitor thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Or like you sweat because you're like, oh, I'm gonna get caught. But then people can get better at not feeling that anxiety.
Yeah.
People get when when you have spies, I would imagine
That they get
that they
better.
get spy. Like I've only seen this on movies, so I don't know exactly how spy
Yeah.
things work. But I would imagine the spies would get trained on not getting caught with a lie detector. Basically, they will put them probably in some sort of situation, and uh, then they ask them questions. They're like, "You have to lie, but don't get caught," and then they get better at lying and not get caught.
Or like
Right.
on like a piece of paper, like write when you're lying and write when
Right.
you're not, and then we'll try and see if we
So
can match up
if your job is dependent
on you
on
lying.
deceiving other people, right?
Yeah.
When a
Like
spy's job,
a police.
a police's job is to catch mostly people. Their job is not to deceive, but like a spy's job is to be somewhere, not be recognized, so they can uh, basically be invisible from that perspective. Be like go about doing the normal job, but then at the same time collect information to send back to their country or something like that. So they don't want to be figured out as a spy. So the job depends on them,
Lying.
yeah, lying or pretending a different way, pretending to be something they're not, or like an actor. Their job depends on their job is that, or like their job is to like
Their
go
job
go
is to
pretend to be
look
go
as
pretend
if
to be
somebody they're
like
not.
the king of England, okay?
Yeah, their job is to look as if
And
somebody
then
they're not.
and then as the better actor you are, the better you can make it seem like you're the king of England. So when somebody's looking at you, you're like, okay, well that person is the king, right?
Yeah.
So there are actors that are better at doing method acting, which is like really trying to go deep into the role to the point that even between scenes they stay within the character. They are uh, like they like have a different accent. They have anyway. So that person will truly feel for the moment that they're doing the whole scene that they're the character. So I would imagine if you ask them a question about from the character's perspective, they're not going to get caught on a lie detector as much as, let's say, a novice actor, because they've trained.
Yeah.
Right. So, lying from that perspective, I would say lying is a skill that you can get better at.
Yeah.
If you can get better at not getting caught, then you can get better at lying.
So then, for like a child or somebody who's non-actor or not a spy
Mm-hmm.
or doesn't practice
Mm-hmm.
lying,
Yeah.
how can you tell if they're lying?
Well, because they're not experts, there'll be plenty of signs of them lying. either by how they say it or what they don't say.
Like if you ask somebody, "Oh, like what time is your debate tournament?" and they're like, I don't know," and you're like, "Okay, well, what time does it end?"
It's more
I don't
like,
know. Like if they don't know anything about
mm,
what they say they know about,
yeah,
then they're lying, kind of.
yeah. The more interesting thing is that why would somebody lie to begin with? Usually, people lie. Like a spy, you know why a spy lies? The
Wait,
spy lies to
I
be able
think
to do some.
most people, like children, lie to get out of something or like pretend they didn't do something or they did do something.
Hmm.
So like if you ate the cookie,
Yeah,
did you eat the cookie? No, I didn't eat the cookie.
yeah.
Well, that's you're trying to pretend you didn't do something that you did.
Hmm.
But if you're like,
For
oh,
what
did you do
purpose,
your
though? No, for what purpose? Why are you
because you
lying?
don't want to get punished.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then
Because you're.
if you're doing your homework
Mhm,
and then your parent is like, "Oh, did you finish your homework?" And you're like, yeah, I finished my homework."
mhm.
That's lying, pretending to have done something you didn't, and
Yeah,
then the eating the cookie is the opposite.
yeah. So I think people lie because they don't want either they don't want to get punished, right?
Hmm.
Or they don't want to be disappointing someone. Let's say,
Like if somebody asks, like, "Do you like my outfit?"
hmm,
and you think it looks like absolutely terrible,
right?
you wouldn't tell them that. You might like lighten the truth, like,
Yeah,
"Oh, the pants aren't my favorite,"
yeah.
or like, "Oh, yeah, you look fine."
Hmm. Yeah, those are called white lies. We call those white lies.
Like lies to make somebody else like
Lies that are not
think
supposed to
something.
be like it's not a big
They're
deal.
not big lies.
It's not a big deal, okay?
Yeah.
And you tell them to we think to protect the other side, the other person. Like the classic one is, do you like my outfit? Do you like my hair? And you say, yeah, sure, it looks great.
But in reality, you don't
But
think
in
it
reality,
looks great.
you don't. Yeah. However, if you're like really good friends with someone and you think it's terrible, you should probably tell them.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't really look good.
Like my best friend,
Uh huh.
she'll ask me like, "Oh, does my hair look too poofy today?"
Hmm.
And then I might say, if it does, I'll say,
Yeah.
just a little bit over there, or like just a little
Yeah.
bit.
So I think if you're really good friends with someone, you'll be able to like not even tell them white lies, right?
Yeah, like
You
they'll be
just
able
tell
to
them,
catch
yeah,
it.
like, hey, you have your hair looks kind of odd today, or whatever. Like this outfit doesn't match.
But one thing you can do with your friends
Hmm.
is if you say a lie
Hmm.
and then you think your friends might catch it,
Yeah.
what I do is I turn everything into sarcasm.
Uh huh.
And then if everything is sarcasm, they can't tell, like, then everybody else starts doing sarcasm and they forget completely about everything. Like,
Okay.
say my friend asks me, "Do you like my outfit?" And then
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I definitely, totally like your outfit. And that's kind of obvious. It sounds like sarcasm, kind of.
I see.
Or
Yeah.
like,
So you can tell them.
or
Yes.
like, "No, I definitely don't like your outfit. Like,
Mhm.
totally,
Yeah.
definitely
But
not."
I think if you're
Stuff like that.
yeah,
I don't
but
know.
if you don't really know the
It was a
person,
thought.
you don't really know the person, and the person asks you something, you say, yeah, that looks great. That looks great. Because you're not friends enough with them to know that if you tell them the truth, they
What
would
they might
not be
say or
offended. Yeah,
do.
right. Yeah. Or you lie when you don't want to get punished. In the criminal system, in the justice system,
You lie because you don't want to get punished.
you lie because you don't want to get punished. And there's a whole system built around figuring out if someone lied.
And you
So,
have to pledge the. You have to like
well,
in a court case, if you're a witness, you have to
yeah. I mean,
say this stuff. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
solemnly swear, no, I will and then you say your full name.
Hmm.
Promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Right. So, in
Forgot what it's called.
so when you're when you are on the on the witness stand, let's say, okay, you're in trial, you're not supposed to lie, but plenty of people do, and the job of
Judge is to
the
tell
judge and the jury and the whole system is to figure out if this person is lying or not and expose the truth and expose the lie.
Yeah.
And the way you do
And
that
you can
is
do that by asking difficult questions.
Yeah.
And then
Or
depending on
sometimes
whether
there's the
they're lying
person
or
that
not.
is on trial will always lie. You can't get them to not lie. Okay? Let's say somebody is a liar. So like somebody is lying. You can figure out if this person is lying or not by bringing other evidence in. The person says,
No,
"I
I was
didn't."
not there at
I
the scene of
right,
the crime.
but then you're like, okay, well, where were you at the time? They would say, I was at home. Well, did somebody see you at home? No. Okay, well, do you have any evidence that you were at home? They would say, yes, so and so saw me. And then you bring so and so and ask them, did you see this person? And that person has to corroborate, means has to also say the same thing. Has to corroborate the
But what if the dude who's lying tells the dude who needs to collaborate to also
corroborates.
lie? Corroborates.
Yeah.
To also lie.
Then you have to bring extra evidence in.
But what if
the whole
you think
process is
after
the
you
process
bring
is to
the
bring out. Yeah.
What if you think after you bring the person who cooperated in, then you find and they're lying, but since you think they corroborated,
Yeah.
then you think it's true,
Uh-huh.
and you just stop there. You don't dig any deeper.
Well, then if you don't prove that the person is lying, then you end up losing the court case. If somebody has been lying, and then let's say they go and steal something, and then they say I didn't steal it, and
You say like that dude stole.
And the
Stole
system, the justice system can't prove that this person stole something or not, then the person gets away with stealing. So they would have to do a good job on the side that has to prove that this person is a thief and a liar. They would have to bring evidence and prove that for sure this person did the thing that they did. So there's a whole system within that system. I'm sure there's hundreds and thousands of books on how to figure out if someone is lying or not, and there are bazillion experts in doing
bazillion.
Lots. I don't know how many. There are lots of experts in detecting lying and in doing lie detector tests. There's a whole bunch of that going on. But at the same time, the reason why I say is pseudoscience, maybe, is because over time we have learned to rely less on these techniques because now we know that there are ways to beat them. There are ways
like
to
the lie detector
right. There's ways to if there's you can build the skill of not getting detected by lie detector tests. So then it's not definitive, means it's not for sure that this person that failed this test is lying because maybe the test is bad. Maybe it's not a good test, or a person that passed this test is not for sure that this person didn't lie because maybe they're just good at taking the lie detector test, right? Yeah, but when it comes to parents and kids figuring out if somebody is lying, you look for other evidence. If there is nobody else in the house and you didn't eat the cookie and the cookie is missing, and
who ate the cookie?
And who ate the cookie? The cookie is not there. Well, you ask the kid, "Did you eat the cookie?" No, I didn't eat the cookie. And you don't see any chocolate in their mouth. And you say, "Okay, well, who ate the cookie?" Well, I don't know. Maybe somebody else ate the cookie. Maybe my friend ate the cookie. Well, did you see your friend? Maybe the dog ate it, but we don't have a dog. Well, maybe somebody else ate it. Okay.
Or even if you do have a dog, and then you look at the dog. Oh, and also dogs are allergic to chocolate, so it would be like, but the dog couldn't have eaten it.
Yeah.
Or like if it was in the fridge and the dog can't open the fridge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you figure out different ways of this could not have been true because of this other thing. Like you could not have.
But what if somebody pretends they're sick so they don't have to do like their homework or or go to school.
Yeah.
Like that happens a lot in books. I've actually never heard of anybody doing that in real life though.
Do you feel like you say you don't want to go to school, or they say they don't want to go to
No,
school?
they say they're sick and they can't go to school.
Uh-huh. Yeah. That's a good lie. You know why? Because
Why?
parents don't want a sick kid to go to school and be more sick and get other people sick.
Yeah.
So if you're truly sick, then you should not go to school.
Yeah.
And you should rest. So
But what if you're not sick and you're faking it?
yeah.
And how do parents tell?
Well, there are some sicknesses you can tell, like
The flu, and then
the
if you
flu,
don't have
right?
a fever,
But some
then
sicknesses you can't tell. Like I have
like
a headache.
cough.
Like say cough, you can tell. But like
No,
I
you
have a
can't,
headache.
because if you pretend cough, then
Yeah. But like you can't.
things that have like things you can measure, like temperature.
Right. Like you can't
or
say I have a
blood
fever, but
pressure,
you don't
stuff
have
like
a
that.
fever.
Yeah.
Right. But if you say I have a headache, I have a
Or my
stomach ache.
throat is sore.
I have a stomach ache. Well,
Oh yeah, a stomach ache.
right. Then you can't tell if somebody has a stomach. Yeah. Well, over time you end
or
up
like
learning.
if somebody says they feel like they need
Yeah.
to throw up, but they don't.
Yeah. Well, you can get away with some lying if you're not known to be a liar. If you keep on lying, then
And
people are like,
everybody
okay,
keeps catching it.
yes, at some point
It's
you
like
will
that
get caught.
story where the boy who watches a sheep and then he keeps saying there's a wolf and
Yeah,
then
the boy who cried wolf. Yeah.
yeah, the boy that cries wolf.
Yeah.
And then he cries wolf and then everybody comes.
Yeah.
But then on the third time it actually is a wolf, but everybody thinks he's just playing pretend. So then the wolf ate all the sheep.
Yeah. So lying in general will get caught, if not now, later.
Yeah.
Okay. And if it gets caught, then you will have like one check mark against you for being a liar.
Yeah.
And
And
you
if
do
you
that
get a
too
lot
many
of check
times.
marks,
Right.
then people don't trust everything you say.
Yeah. So
But if you don't get a lot of check marks, then
Yeah.
people trust you.
yeah, so you may miss school one time because you're sick.
Yeah.
Okay, and then next time you may pretend to be sick. But if you keep on missing school because you
You're
pretend to be sick,
then people are gonna find out.
people would say, okay, well, you must be very sick.
Yeah. We should
Either
take
you're
you to the
very sick,
doctor.
right? Either you're very sick, which could be unfortunately for some people, or this person is lying. Yeah. But then the more interesting thing again for me is to figure out why the kid is lying. Because are they scared to get punished? Most of the time, that is not going to happen. The parents are not necessarily going to punish the kid. They'll try to figure out what's going on. Why is the kid scared? Why, if they didn't do their homework, is it because they didn't have time to do the homework? They don't know how to do it? They wanted to play with their friends. Maybe they missed their friends a lot. So let's figure out a good time
And
to
they
play
haven't
with your
seen their
friends.
in a while.
Let's figure out a good time to play with your friends, and then figure out a time. So a lot of these things, if you talk to your parents, it can get resolved. You don't have to lie, because parents are reasonable people.
Most of the time.
Parents are always reasonable. Always.
Well, when was the last time you were a kid and you
Uh-huh,
lied to
that's
get out
true.
of doing something to your parents?
Well, if you
Yeah,
talk
that was
to yes,
a
that's
very
true.
long time ago, wasn't it?
If you talk to your parents, then chances are you can work something out where you can say, "Look, I need more time to play with my friends,
Or
so
more time to do my homework.
or more time to do my homework. And when I come back from school, I'm gonna be too tired. So can I take a nap?" And then you figure out, like, you want to take a nap after school because you're tired, and then you can do your homework afterwards. But if you don't say anything,
Or you need to stop signing me up for so many classes because I can't get my homework done. Hint, hint.
or you figure out a different time, like, okay, well, did you eat your lunch? Yes, I ate my lunch. Okay, well, why is your lunch halfway eaten then?
Well, we don't have enough time for lunch.
I didn't have enough time. Did you not have enough time, or did you just want to talk to your friends? Well, I just talked to my friends. I just didn't have enough time. Okay, well, let's figure out a different way for you to talk to your friends so it's not overlapping with your lunch, so you can eat your lunch.
Yeah.
So, see, that would be
And
where,
last time I asked you, your solution was to sit in the corner and not talk at all.
correct.
So sometimes parents aren't always helpful.
Yes, and the situations like that will lead to lying, where I would ask you, "Did you eat your lunch?" And you'll say, "Yes, I ate my lunch," because you don't want to disappoint me for not eating your lunch. But I would not get the.
But isn't that
yeah.
a white lie then?
Well, it
If
depends.
you don't want to disappoint someone?
No, not all. First of all, it's not a disappointment thing. It's more like you need to eat your lunch because you need the energy. And if you don't eat your lunch, you're not gonna have a rest of the school day enough energy for the rest of the school day. So you
Okay,
obviously
but if
need
you
your lunch.
weren't a dad and I weren't your child and you didn't care about that,
Yes.
wouldn't it be a white lie?
If it didn't, yeah, I guess so. If it was a matter of you could eat your lunch later, but the thing with lunch is if you don't eat it, the energy you need it is going to come from somewhere, and it's going to come from the rest of your growth that you need to have. So you need to have that energy at the time you need to have it. You can't just not eat your lunch and then eat dinner. The rest of the day that you didn't eat lunch, you didn't eat your lunch. You didn't have energy for it.
And so you don't have lunch energy.
Exactly. You don't have afternoon energy. You can have dinner and dinner energy, but you didn't have afternoon energy. So, yeah. But if you get caught in a corner in a way that a lot of lying is because of you're caught in a situation where you want something, you can't get it, or you were told to do something like come. Well, this doesn't happen right now, but let's say like a teenager is supposed to like come home after school, but then they don't come home. They like go play with their friends. So they say come home after school, and then the person comes home later, and then say, well, where were you? Like I was just in school a little bit longer. I didn't go. Like, did you go like play with your friends like I told you not to do? No, I was at school. I was doing a chess tournament. Okay. Instead of lying, the situation.
You can just tell your parents.
You could say, "Look, I miss my friends. My
friends
friends really wanted to do
hang out with my friends."
Right. And then you can figure out with the parents' help, you can figure out a situation where you can hang out with your friends and still do the school homework they need to do. So, from my perspective, if there is a lot of lying, is because there isn't enough trust between the kid and the parent that you can resolve the situation in a way that it'll be resolved to everyone's satisfaction. You know?
Yeah.
So, but if you talk to your parents and then most of the time they'll figure out even better way than you didn't even think about. Like they'll figure out like a whole weekend you can hang out with your friends, not just like 2 hours after school one time. Much better situation than lying and then get caught and getting caught and then not getting trusted again because now you've been caught lying. Now you have to like rebuild the trust from the ground up again.
But parents can also just make you clean your room more or do stuff that doesn't help.
As punishments? Yeah, punishments could be
extra chores for the rest of the week.
All sorts of things, yes. But I think it takes both sides.
Oh, and in school, if you lie to get out of something, like say you didn't do your homework and you're like, oh, my dog ate my homework.
Yeah.
And then you go to detention, so that's a punishment.
Well, yes. We have punishments for a lot of. So after you have lied and you get caught, there should be some sort of punishment for that situation. The time to not lie and not get caught and figure out something with the parents' help or with the teacher's help is before you lie, before you do something bad.
Yeah.
So it's much better to work it out, not have to lie and not have to get caught, than to not work it out pretend something happened or something didn't happen, and then lie about it, and then potentially get caught, and then for sure not be able to do that thing again because now you're going to be punished, and we're going to be monitored a lot more strictly, right?
And you're not allowed to do certain things.
And you get and your parents are going to be watching you a lot more carefully, or like come straight home after school, or
And they track your
show
location.
yeah, or like
something.
show me your homework every day, or things like that. That is
Yeah.
a lot more strict and a lot more intrusive, and means like you have to show more of your work.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you feel like is this something you talk about with your friends? Like, I feel like kids learn lying from other kids. This might
No,
be
well,
my
here's
thing.
the thing. So some of my friends
Yeah.
are like, they're like really nice. So
Yeah.
they'll tell like white lies.
Yeah.
But then like a minute later they'll tell that they just said a lie.
Uh-huh.
Like, for example, one of my friends was telling my other friend, oh, yeah, I did these problems backwards, so that's why I didn't get to do these problems.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, later that day, she said, I actually thought those problems at the start were hard, so I told you I did them backward,
Yeah.
but I finished them now, and they weren't that hard.
Yeah.
So, like, that happened today. And it was, I found it kind of cool that, like, that wasn't a really important lie or didn't
Yeah.
affect much, but I found it cool that my friends are so trustworthy that they will tell each other even the smallest
Mm-hmm.
thing that could
Yeah.
possibly affect somebody.
Yeah. In general, if you don't lie in situations where other people would lie, it builds more trust because you know somebody else would have lied. Like if you ask your friends, how does my hair look? And they say quietly without like shouting it to everyone, actually it looks
I
a
don't
little,
really like it.
yeah, like I would do it this way or that way. That builds more trust when you don't lie. And when people lie and they get caught, that really destroys trust. Really is hurtful for friendships.
Yeah.
So, not recommended at all. If you're going to lie, you better not get caught.
Otherwise, you get
It
you
would
lose
be very
trust.
terrible. That's not good advice. Don't lie and don't get caught.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll lie, but I won't get caught.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, there are situations where
Lying is okay.
lying is. Yeah, I mean, if you're a spy, you're forced. You have to lie because that's your job.
Or an actor, kind of.
Or if you're like, yeah, if you're like, you could lie to protect someone's feelings, or to protect.
Or in books a lot, they say
Yeah.
like their mother like lied to protect their child, and then their mother died, and they make it really dramatic. But like
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah. But those situations are rare. In
Well,
everyday,
they're in books, so
yeah, in everyday life, lying is not a good thing, and the more you do it, the better you get at it, and that's not a good thing. And it's better to not do it, and better to work it out with people, so you don't have to be caught in a situation where you feel like lying would be your best option.
yeah.
Yeah. But I think kids do learn to lie from other kids. It's normal. It's a normal thing that you would learn from other people.
Yeah.
And yeah. And that's not good. It's better to learn other things from your friends
So
than
now
lying.
I learned a lot about lying.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes. Yes.
You taught me all the secrets.
All right. That was a good
Okay.
topic.
Now we're at school.
Okay.